Welcome back. My name is Kevin Rhodes. Thank you for swinging by this channel. Hey, this is where I focus on helping leaders innovate by design. So as a leader, there's one thing you cannot escape, and that is digital communication. And if you are anything like me, digital communication can be really hard. And the reason it's hard is because it's digital. It's not face-to-face. It's not even voice-to-voice. It's this technology that gets in the way and does a really terrible job at translating intention, translating emotion. As a leader, this can be a hurdle. So here are 3 things that I try to keep in mind when I am communicating digitally. And actually, these 3 things are helpful whether it's digital or person-to-person communication. But I find them especially helpful when dealing with digital communication. The first one, when dealing with digital communication, you're having an exchange, whether it's on Slack or email or pick your communication tool, assume the best. As a leader, that's a great place to start. When you're having a digital conversation, assume the best. Assume that someone didn't mean to be offensive, even if that's how you've interpreted it, and assume that they are giving it their effort. Just start from that posture and allow the facts to mature, and if they lead you to a different conclusion, fine. But start from the position that you're assuming the best out of someone. Years ago, I picked up a line from a fellow designer that I have a great deal of respect for. She said, "The judgment is in your interpretation, not in my words." And that really stuck with me. Yeah, like I'm the one bringing the judgment to the conversation. The words may not have that layer of meaning intrinsic to them. So checking my perspective and starting with the assumption that people are putting their best foot forward. Idea number 2, don't assume motives. This is a slippery slope. If you're dealing with digital communication and you can't read the nuance and you can't read the body language, it is a really slippery slope to assume that you know the motives behind the thing you're reading. Assuming motives is generally a pretty bad idea from a leadership perspective, but it's especially dangerous when you don't have nearly enough information to make that kind of judgment. Because motives are really tricky to get a grasp at to begin with. If you find yourself framing sentences like, Jack said this because he is angry about XYZ, or Paul's bringing up this because he's really concerned about this other aspect. Like, don't assume motives. If you have questions or if you feel like that inclination could inform how you should interpret the conversation, just be direct. You can, if you have an inkling about something, don't just assume you know what the motive is. Put it on the table. Good leadership doesn't operate off assumptions. It's about bringing clarity to the conversation. It's about being candid and crystal clear with people. And if you're just busy assuming motives, you're likely getting it wrong. The third thing that I have to remind myself again in digital communication is go out of your way to be kind. Digital communication is already cold. It's in the way. It's in between you and who you're trying to communicate with. And the more that is in between you and the one you're trying to communicate with, the colder it is. And so just put effort into being kind. If it's acknowledging a particular insight that you appreciate, or if it's simply being courteous in the words we use, just go out of your way to be kind. Assume the best, but don't assume someone's motives. And just go out of your way to be kind. These are 3 things that I have to be reminded of all the time. And I figured if you're anything like me, these might be helpful for you. So I'm curious to know, what do you have to keep in mind when you communicate digitally in order to kind of get over the hurdles of the cold aspects of digital communication? Leave those in the comments below. So if you haven't already, hit subscribe to this channel. And if you find the content here helpful or valuable to you, share it with a friend. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.